You're listening to Loving BDSM Podcast, episode 22. Hey everybody, Kayla Lords here, sharing my views on getting to know other kinksters, online or in real life. Welcome to the Loving BDSM Podcast. If this is your first time listening, glad to have you. If you're back for another week, welcome back. Loving BDSM is produced every Friday for your kinky pleasure and education, and show notes are found at kaylalords.com. Come back often and feel free to add the podcast to your favorite RSS feed or iTunes. If you love what you hear, we'd love a good review on iTunes to help other kinksters find us. You can follow me on Twitter at Kayla Lords or stalk John Brownstone at southernsirsplace.com. All links are in the show notes. Does your business cater to the kinky with toys, videos, products, or services? You should sponsor the Loving BDSM podcast. Contact me, Kayla Lords, to learn more at kaylalords@gmail.com. Now, on with the show. So I'll admit it, it's another low energy week for me. I have a cold I just can't shake, and it sucks. It's this Florida weather, y'all. One moment we're in the 70s, the next it's 30-something degrees outside. And yes, I know some of you would kill for that kind of weather. Well, come on down to sunny Florida. John Brownstone and I had friends visit from out of town this past week. Kinky friends. They're not used to our weather, so while Daddy and I were wearing jeans and considering throwing on a jacket, they were loving it and wearing their shorts. They even got to meet our state bird, the mosquito. Their visit, and no, I'm not saying who, but I think they might be listening, so hey there, miss you, ready to visit again soon. Anyway, their visit was a good thing on a lot of levels. It's almost always good to meet someone in real life when you've known them online. It gives you the opportunity to put faces with names and to get to know them. Will they be anything like their online persona? Will they be completely different? Will they have anything to talk about other than kink? Now, I consider it a good visit when the friendship you build online translates well when you're live and in person. Oh, and for the record, while there was plenty of talk about kink, there were also conversations about dogs, kids, travel, and work. And we ate a ton of good food. And Daddy and I got to enjoy the leftovers for like 3 days afterwards. I know a lot of people worrying about giving up their anonymity and meeting other kinksters in real life. Now, if someone gives you a bad vibe, I say listen to it and don't meet them. But for the most part, everyone else is just as nervous as you are. But meeting each other can be a good thing. It reminds you that you're not alone in the kinky world. You get to see how other people handle their kink. And by that, I mean, will they let you see even a little bit of it or keep it completely private? And if they do let you see some of it, how will it differ from your kinky ways? Now, even after all this time, with several trips to the local BDSM club under my belt, and the friends I've made, I still get nervous meeting new people, especially new kinksters. And I still feel shy hearing someone else use the term sir, or call someone else a good girl. That probably makes me weird, I know, but it is what it is. When our friends came to visit, we took the opportunity to introduce them to our local community. Okay, so visiting us probably isn't like visiting other people, and it really is for us a huge thing to bring both parts of our world together. The people who came to visit were people we have met outside of the online world before and who we have a really good connection with, and we talk to them a lot, and there's just, they even know us in the vanilla world, vanilla online world. So it was a case of long distance kinky friends meeting local kinky friends, and no, that's probably not common at all. We are kind of different like that, but this was a special visit. So yes, they agreed beforehand or we wouldn't have gone, and we kind of sort of eased them into all this connecting with two sides of our life. We went to the Munch first, where we all ate lunch because we were all pretty much starving. And it was a good group of people that day. I mean, some weeks the Munch is mostly people we don't know, and sometimes it's people we're like, yeah, we know, but could you go away? And this time it was a group of people that Daddy and I both like fairly well. So after that, when they didn't get scared off by that, and when they agreed and they felt comfortable, we went to the club that night too, to see a different side of our kinky life. Now, no one, other than Daddy and myself, was expected to play. Going to the club does not obligate you to take your clothes off and, go stand in front of the St. Andrew's cross. You do that if you feel comfortable, and that's the only time you do it. I mean, we have friends that we've known for ages who go all the time, and they're not playing in public. It doesn't matter. This is not happening. The whole idea of this trip was supposed to be a kinky field trip. Plus, Daddy and I really, really, really wanted to play. We knew our friends hadn't been to places like that very much, and we wanted to give them a taste of it in a safe way, where they knew someone else. You know, it can be pretty scary and intimidating to go to a BDSM club or dungeon when you're new and you don't know anybody. So now they can all say they've been to one, and then do with that what they will, even if it means they never go back to another one. They've had the experience. And we were glad to be able to give that to them, because we're really proud of the people we know in the local community, and we really like those particular kinky friends, and we were happy to share both sides of that with everybody. Yeah, like I said, we're probably not like most other kinksters when you go for a visit. As you can tell, we're very open about kink in the online world. And if we feel comfortable with someone who knows about our kink, we will talk about it as openly as we can. For the record, in case anybody wonders, until the boys were dropped off to stay with someone else for the weekend, we did speak in code, and we're not that open. Now, even with all of that, with sharing new experiences and sort of, giving them a new look on how some things are done, I had a first for me. Because we were all kinksters hanging out without kids, I actually witnessed a dominant punishing his submissive, and I don't mean in a kinky club way where everybody's half naked. I mean in my living room. Every submissive cell in my body reacted. I actually hid behind Daddy and peeked over his shoulder. I kind of couldn't watch, but I couldn't not watch. It was a little exciting. I mean, hello, spankings are good even when they're bad. But it was also unnerving, because as the one who always wants to be the good girl, I discovered that it's really hard for me to see someone get called out for not being a good girl. Especially, and here was the rub, especially when what that submissive said that got them in trouble was something I would have said, and probably have 1,000,000 times. And that may have been the biggest revelation for me personally. Daddy and I have our own unique dynamic. We're daddy and baby girls, sadist and masochist. When we're feeling primal, we're predator and prey. We're definitely dominant and submissive. It's a conglomeration of the pieces and parts of BDSM that we prefer the most. So even with all of that, a lot of our interaction is playful and teasing. He gives me a shit ton of freedom, y'all. So to see another dominant feel differently and react differently to something I know I've done before was strange and enlightening and really hard to watch. Even though that particular submissive thoroughly enjoyed the moment, even when it hurt like hell. Now, I admit as well, I'm not a voyeur. I'm an exhibitionist. That's why I can be so open about my kinky life and get naked in the club. I'm not a voyeur, so it's also hard to watch for that reason, but it really hit me hard because I recognized the tone of that submissive's voice as one I use all the time, and the reaction I witnessed was the complete and total opposite of what I'm used to. So it was a very weird moment there. But that's the beauty of getting to know other kinksters. There are moments when you get to witness kink and DS in a way that may be completely foreign to you. And if you're like me at all, it'll probably affect you in some way, good or bad. But hopefully what it does is it expands your horizons and reminds you that there is no one way to be kinky or be in a DS relationship. It's easy to start feeling isolated in your kinky relationship without even realizing it. You might even begin to believe that the way you do kink is the only way or the best way, which isn't true at all. It's the only way for you, it's the best way for you, but that doesn't apply to other people. Opening yourself up to kinky friendships helps keep your eyes and mind open to other ways that are different from your way. You may learn something new and decide to try it out, or you might figure out that you most definitely prefer your own dynamic. And I had nothing against how they handled things, but I knew after seeing that submissive get into punishment/funishment/ let's play with crops and paddles and OMG, that I like our teasing, playful way. Because if I started getting in trouble every time I use that tone of voice, I would be in trouble all the time. So, I digress. While I recommend getting to know kinksters in your local area, Remember, making friendships online, I don't think that's a bad thing either. Hell, 99% of my relationships, friend or otherwise, begin online. But if you have the opportunity to take it from behind a computer screen to a face-to-face meeting, I say go for it. You never know what you might discover about them or yourself in the process. I mean, you might learn what you like a little bit more. You might see something new and exciting. You might determine that they're okay people online and you'd like to keep it that way. Or you may find that you really want them to move down to your home state and become your neighbor so they can like have coffee with you all the time. I don't know that from personal experience. Nope, not me. I don't want that. But if they're listening, you could totally move to Florida. It would not hurt my feelings. And quite frankly, when you have kinky friends in your life, in your physical life, you never know if you're going to get to witness a spanking. Just saying. Okay, y'all. I think the cold medicine has got to me. That's it for me this week. I hope to be back to my typical ranting form very soon. For those of my listeners who are active in your local community or who have just made friends with other kinksters accidentally, share what you think with the rest of us. You can leave a comment on the show notes page on my website or shoot me a message and share your experiences. You never know, I might even use it in a follow-up episode because there is a lot to say about getting to know other kinky people and making kinky friends. A lot to say. Okay, y'all, keep it kinky and we'll see you next week.